Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining today's session on managing Office deployments with new tools and services. My name is Amesh Mansakani, and I'm a program manager within the Office engineering team. And with me today, I have Javier.
Hello, everyone. My name is Javier Carrillo. I am a program manager in the Office group, and I am excited to be with you today to show you a little bit about what we have been working to help you stay healthy and current. Back to you, Amesh.
In today's session, we're going to be talking about the benefits of actually staying current on all of your Office apps and how you can leverage the new products and services to get better insights and control, automate your servicing, as well as talk about the overall health and performance of all of your applications. So let's dive right into it. So let's talk about what are the key benefits to actually staying current on all of your Office updates. Well, for your users, it's about getting the latest set of features, security patches, and quality fixes. This really gives them the best productivity tools that they can leverage to get the best output for their actual jobs. Now, from an IT admin perspective, this gives you lower downtime. I mean, we know the name of the game here is to ensure that you get lower downtime and that your users are not yelling about something that went wrong. So by being able to turn around and deliver quality fixes faster, you're going to get higher performance. And overall, we've seen a higher NPS, meaning higher satisfaction from all users by being able to get new features and have better performance and quality related solutions for their individual apps. Now, we know that this is not an easy thing, and that's why our team is here and to build the right set of features, processes, and services to make this all possible. So you can get to be able to deploy in a more seamless manner without increasing your old total cost of ownership in order to do that like you would do in the past. Now let's talk about what are the different channels that are available to get these feature and quality fixes. We have 3 channels that are available today, and 2 of those have actual preview channels ahead of those if you want to get a glimpse of what's about to come out in production. The first one is the current channel. Now, this is our fastest channel possible to get all the features, security, as well as quality fixes. This is in lockstep with all the services. If you think about what we've done in the past, every time we release some new backend service like Exchange or SharePoint, we always release some client-side bits in order to take advantage of those service capabilities. Now, in this case, in the services and cloud services world, we do the same thing with current channel. Anytime Exchange Online or SharePoint Online comes out with some net new features, to be able to take advantage of those, you need the right set of client bits. Now, that means you're going to get, as soon as the bits are available, they're going to come out and be available to you, to your end users. Now, this next channel is a lot more predictable, where we deliver those bits once a month and only once a month. Unlike the current channel, you can actually get bits twice or even 3 times a month. Now, this one is a lot more predictable. It actually has all the cumulative fixes that were done in the current channel, and you're delivered that once a month. And we believe this is a great spot for many, many organizations to be able to ensure that they're getting higher quality as well as more predictable cadence for more of their general purpose set of devices. And what I mean by that is devices that are using the applications without any critical line of business add-ins, macros, or even other applications to generate IP. So I'm leveraging things like Word to actually compose documents and collaborate with others in my organization, or using Excel to do, basic computations. Whereas on the last channel, where we are only delivering features and quality fixes twice a year, those are perfect for more business essential set of application usage. And what I mean by that, those who really are generating IP and using Office more as a platform to be able to use macros, add-ins, and other applications in conjunction with all of those Office apps. And those are all the 3 different channels that we currently have. And so the first 2 are perfect for those general purpose set of applications, while the last one is perfect for those business essential ones. So we definitely encourage you to identify the type of devices that are being used within your organization and be able to deliver those channels with those features, quality, and security updates to them based off on their actual usage. Now, how do you actually identify that, right? Because we've had a lot of organizations actually say, this is great, but we really need insights into our entire inventory. And we want to be able to look at exactly what we have, because you probably have a glimpse of, what your inventory looks like, but not a comprehensive view. And that is one of the top questions that we keep hearing from organizations. The second thing is around giving you better security reporting. So working with your security operations team, they have certain requirements to ensure that your devices are secure on an ongoing basis. And they want to see reports that these are actually being conducted and that every single of those devices are being patched appropriately. Now, as I talked about the different channels, regardless of which channel you're picking, all of them are going to get and receive the same set of security patches across every month. Now, the other thing that we keep hearing from administrators is help manage those monthly updates. Today, it's fairly cumbersome, depending on the type of tools that you're leveraging. You might be leveraging Configuration Manager, where you download once to your central site server, deploy to all your DPs, and then ultimately update your devices. Some of you are using file shares. Again, these are all manual management capabilities that you're leveraging today that will take you weeks to actually deploy throughout your entire organization, depending on the size and, of course, the location and the bandwidth that you have available. Following that, we also hear about understanding what errors are happening during installation. And as you're delivering those monthly updates, you want a comprehensive report and be able to see that. And finally, between deployments, you want to ensure that they're working properly, that you're getting the most performant set of results from each and every one of those updates. And if something does go wrong, you want to be able to be more proactive than reactive, instead of having tons of users calling into their help desk and being able to escalate these particular issues. Wouldn't it be great if you could be able to see in a single dashboard what those particular issues or advisories are? So last time we met in Ignite 2020, we announced 4 key services: our app inventory with insight cards, our security currency reports, servicing profile, and your app health. And all of these were announced in public preview. And so you can go out to https://config.office.com and be able to sign up for the public preview and be able to see all of this information directly, and that helps solve for that. So you might be asking, how well have these services been received by everybody? Well, I'm happy to announce that for our inventory services, we've seen over 11 million Office devices onboard to the service, where all these organizations are now able to see a comprehensive view of what that Office device looks like. On top of that, we've been able to serve over 8 million app health metrics. And Javier's going to go really deep into that and talk about all the different capabilities of what that looks like in just a bit. And finally, we've serviced over 500,000 devices with our new servicing profile to ensure that they're continuously up to date. So now that turned into some great results for organizations. They're able to get a faster turnaround in their inventory. We've now got it down under 15 minutes. Anytime a new device shows up in network or it has been updated, that gets reflected directly into inventory. And it's actually helped many, many organizations quickly identify problems, especially with sentiment. And then from a servicing profile, we've actually seen devices that are part of these automation services be able to stay a lot more current, 93.9% more current than without profiles. And what I mean by this is the 67% of devices in that same period of time were able to stay current, but you could see that there are a lot of other devices that are missing. They were not able to stay current in that same period of time, which is typically about 30 days. And so with these capabilities, we're able to make these services and your overall organization a lot better. Well, let me take a pause right there, and I'm going to switch over to a demo and show you exactly what these capabilities do today. So let's dive right into it. To get to these services, you got to go to the Apps Admin Center, and that's available at https://config.office.com. And once you sign in with one of the privileged accounts, whether you're a global admin, the Office Apps Admin, or even coming soon, you're going to be able to sign in with the Global Reader. You're going to be able to have access to all of these new capabilities. First thing I want to be able to show you is once I come in, I click on inventory, and all of a sudden I'm getting all these insights about my organization. I can see the total build spread that's available. So quickly identifying all the sediment that's available there, total number of devices that I have, all the devices by channel, and of course, a comprehensive list of my add-ins. Now, let me show you what this quickly looks like. So I have 15 total builds here. You can see I already have a total of unsupported devices. Now, we're not just only providing you with rows and rows of data, but we're providing you with insights. And what I mean by this is giving you answers to typically asked questions. We always get questions about how many builds do I actually truly have in my organization? I could click on show all builds. And what's going to come up is a full comprehensive list of every build that's available to me in my organization, whether or not it's supported. And so I can quickly go ahead and see that I have 6,072 on the current channel that are not supported, another 33 on this particular build. And if I wanted to, I can click on this link below where it gives me that full list and I can go ahead and export that. Now today, the export limit is at 8,000 items per row or per table. And what we're going to be able to doing, what we will be doing shortly is we're going to be expanding that so you can export all of your information at one time. But that is something that will be coming soon. Now, you can see I can dive directly into this individual device where it's giving me basic hardware information, it's giving me OS information, as well as what my free storage is on that particular disk, and who that last signed in user is. Now, all of this is conforming to our standard privacy policies where this information is stored in your tenant and in your tenant only. Beyond this, you could also start seeing now office details, all the app information, the version, the build number that we have available, even the bitness that was installed on that particular box, the update channel, all the different applications that were installed. So if you decided to configure this where you're excluding some applications, you can go ahead and see whether or not that was done here. And of course, a full list of add-ins that are available on this device. And finally, whether or not this particular device had access to a file with a macro on it. And again, giving you comprehensive information as to, what these devices are, what's actually happening within your organization. One of my favorite things, as we just touched upon, is around add-ins and being able to see all the different add-ins within my organization. So I could quickly look at this particular com add-in for Microsoft Outlook Hotmail. And you could see all the different versions that I have. So quickly identifying if there's any sediment. We could see that, 6,643 have yet to go on to that latest version. Was this a problem within a deployment that we recently had? Did we pause for some reason? And just there's so much more sediment that we can now go back and clean up if we choose to. So again, giving me quick information right at my fingertips. Now, the other thing that we also have that I want to show you is around the security update status. This is what I talked about earlier, where you can work with your security operations team to show them how well you're doing from a security posture. Now, I could see that none of my devices are up to date. Clearly, something's going on, whether it's Patch Tuesday, because this will reset at every Patch Tuesday, second Tuesday of the month, back down to 0, and then climb up from there as you do apply your updates. On the bottom, what we will be coming out shortly is the ability to actually see that by channel. So today, this is not in public preview, but I wanted to give you a glimpse of what you're going to be seeing next there. And finally, there's the opportunity for me to actually set those goals and track how well I am doing. As you can see, the default, we put 95% of your organization should be completed in about 5 days. Now, this might vary in your organization, so you have the opportunity to change that. Maybe it's 18 days and you're 88%. And what this is going to do is just for tracking purposes, it will start measuring how well you're doing. And you could say 10 days remaining. This is a fictitious tenant, so clearly nothing is happening with these devices itself, but 10 days are remaining to reach my goal of 18 days. So you could see how that's happening there. So that actually covers a lot of your app inventory. And this is actually really simple to set up. Once you go into the app's admin center and sign up, you're able to then automatically see all these devices show up within a short period of time. Just keep in mind, you're going to need to ensure that all your endpoints are opened and these devices can talk to it. This is based off a new set of capabilities that Click to Run has within its service itself. You're going to need a more recent set of bits. Anything that is about 1909 and later, and then beyond that, you're going to be able to have all this information light up. The more recent bits will give you better capabilities. For example, some of the information that I showed you around the last user who signed in. Now, as I mentioned, all this is in public preview today, but we're going to be providing more capabilities over the next several weeks to about a month or so. So if you don't see this just yet, this is kind of why. So one is around knowing which user last signed in. So that's going to be available to you in the next several weeks to a month around that time frame. The next one is about being able to see actions. And so now that you have this set of information, what are the actions that you can actually take within the inventory in order to configure your device or even be able to move that to a servicing profile, which I'll demonstrate in just a bit. And lastly is that enhanced data export. So today, as I mentioned, you can export 8,000 lines. And ultimately, when we have this enhanced capability, you're going to be able to export just about all of your data that you have that's greater than 8,000 rows. Now let's dive into the servicing profile demo and show you what that looks like. Now, same site, the Apps Admin Center at https://config.office.com. If I go under servicing, I'll see servicing profile. And what this allows me to do is ring fence a number of devices that I want to have automatic servicing from directly from the Office CDN with control over how these things are managed, where I could do things like pause the entire service. So if I wanted to go up on top here, there's a big, nice pause button. And this will change my status where there's no new intents going out to any of the devices. So if there's you can see about 78% of my devices have been updated in this particular demo out of 10,000 devices that I have there. And now the remaining set will not get any instructions to go ahead and update. This is great in the event that there is some issue that's occurring and you want to pause these devices in the entire profile and then be able to resume it once once you've resolved that particular issue that you have there. The other thing that you're going to see is that you have waves. What we've created is the set of waves so we're not bombarding your network from being able to download these bits. Clearly on Patch Tuesday, you don't want every single device waking up, downloading it all at one time and clogging up that network. So we created waves in order to be able to distribute those updates slowly across your entire organization. And as you could see with these particular waves, we could see that these are projected waves. So we project exactly the total number of devices that we would like to update in that first wave. This one is 1,500 devices, and you can see the actuals that are being shown here about that same 1,500 devices. And we continue that until all of your devices, this 10,000 in this case, are completed. And we try to do that in the 7-day period of time. Now, you can also choose to use Windows 10 delivery optimization, which we certainly recommend, to download once and distribute to all your other devices to ensure you have better performance and lower bandwidth consumption on your individual networks. Now, finally, all you'll see on the right-hand side are your device failures. If there's anything that occurred during the installation or download phase or even during the discovery phase, you're going to see that information directly here. We give you a summary. You can go directly into the Issues tab and be able to see exactly what the error was, how many devices are being affected. In this case, is insufficient disk space. But let's go to this transport error. What does this actually mean? We actually link to additional information so you can see exactly what is going on there. Now, let's go back directly into here where I can see my total list of devices that are available here. And I get a quick summary of total number of updates, again, that failed number, how many are actually in progress and not started, right? So all this information is here. Now, but what happens if there's a certain number of devices that are actually causing a problem after the installation? Let's say they've actually succeeded. The add-in did not load in for some reason or some other failure that might occur. Well, now you have the opportunity to actually go into that particular device and do a restoration. And what that does, it gives you the opportunity to be able to get it back to that last known version. It will pause that device. That's one option. Or you can do what we call snooze. And if you snooze it, just like your alarm clock, it will automatically resume that update the next time a new update is available. If you pause it, you would have to manually resume that device in order to receive it. So the pause is great for if you have particular issues with a homegrown add-in or macro, or if you want to snooze it, you can go ahead and have that automatically go, assuming that issue is a Microsoft issue, where we're going to release it in that next build. If I wanted to actually do that by Azure AD group, I can go ahead and select that over here. I'll call this HR devices. I can go ahead and search for HR, and it will go ahead and look at Azure Active Directory, and I can pick exactly the groups that I have available, and then again, go through the process that we talked about here. And finally, I want to show you some of the settings that are available. This gives you the opportunity to actually choose how you want to ring fence those devices, whether it's include all your devices in your organizations or start with a group, Azure AD group. Now, some of these features that I'm showing you here are things that are going to be coming soon that are not available just yet in public preview. They're not only available in private, but they'll be rolling out over the next several weeks and months. So you'll start seeing those capabilities, just like this choose a group to include, and what I just showed you around the snooze and restore and pause. As well as, and so those are what's coming soon, but what's available right now is the ability to say, oh, if I have anything in the beta channel or current channel preview, I want to pick those. We'll automatically convert those to the latest channel in the monthly enterprise channel. And then you could start getting updates and seeing that in this particular servicing profile. I can change my disk space capacity that I want, minimum of 6 gigs or 5 gigs and so on. I can also include or exclude things like whether that device has touched that macro or has add-ins that were installed after the fact. So all that will start giving me the opportunity to ring fence those devices and then bring them directly into this profile. The other options that we do have available in settings is the opportunity to exclude dates. Now, this is a great feature for those of you who want to ensure that you're not receiving any updates and you're not manually going back here and clicking on that pause button, but automatically having that pause button clicked for you during certain periods of time. Some examples are tax season. Some organizations don't want any updates to occur during tax season or during maybe board meetings or even during the holiday seasons at the end of the calendar year, where you want to ensure that things are just optimal, where no updates are occurring, and that you could focus on that business at hand. And this could easily be done by clicking on the ad, type in the name description, start. And over time, you're going to see additional capabilities of, hey, by being able to target particular Azure AD groups. So maybe you want to only do it for the finance team, or maybe do it for your board of directors. So you can apply that. But today, you're going to be able to only apply this to your entire profile. The other thing that we also have is this deadline. Now, this has been a fantastic feature. Lots of great feedback from our private preview customers and including some of the public preview customers around setting this deadline automatically. We've set this up for 3 days by default. You can actually increase that or lower that based off your preference. But this has really helped encourage organizations to be able to ensure that once the deadline is met, this is a rolling deadline. So after the bits have been downloaded onto the box, you now get the opportunity to start a countdown timer on the user's device, informing them that this would automatically shut down their apps, not reboot their device, but shut down their apps, reboot the apps itself in order for these updates to be applied on the device. So that is a quick demo of what the servicing profile looks like. Now, I did mention there are a number of things that are going to be coming up. They're not available in preview just yet. First one is the support with Azure AD groups. We're going to be doing that for exclusion dates. We're going to be doing that for what we call start small, or being able to ring fence your number of your devices. The other option that we're going to be providing you is the ability to do your device-based restore, pause, and resume. We'll also be enabling that for the Azure AD groups like I demonstrated earlier. So that will be coming soon. And then we're going to be creating 2 other profiles as well, because a lot of feedback that we get from customers is, well, what about my other devices? So I have devices on the monthly enterprise channel. How do I manage devices on the remaining channels that I'm currently subscribing to for the different applications in the organization? Well, there are 2 other servicing profiles that we are going to be building. That will be coming maybe sometime later this year. So keep an eye out for that. And lastly is going to be around the network advisor. This is going to give you more information on better ways to enable things like delivery optimization, so you can ensure that you are being a lot more network friendly. So I hope that gives you a good demonstration of what we have available today, but we're not done yet. I'm going to pass it on to Javier to talk about application health.
Thank you, Amesh. Let's talk a little bit more about Microsoft 365 Apps Health, or Apps Health for short. Microsoft 365 Apps Health is a new feature on the Microsoft 365 Apps Admin Center to help you, the admin, monitor, optimize, and discover issues in your Office apps. This is a solution that we have built internally to help your organization not only stay up to date, but also stay up to great with the latest features. Now, if you're wondering why would such a solution, such a feature be useful for you, think about the following use cases. Imagine that you want to start updating the monthly channels or the monthly enterprise channel in order to take advantage of the latest features and benefits for the productivity of your users, but you want to do that with confidence. Or imagine that you don't have any particular problem in your tenant, but you want to just do the final tweaks to ensure that everything is optimized and working at its 100%. Or imagine another case in which your users might be reporting problems and you need to go and delve into the data in order to investigate and discover what is the precise cause of the problem. For all these kind of scenarios is where the Microsoft 365 Apps Health dashboard can help you. Apps Health brings you the following benefits. First of all, it's based on diagnostic data. Diagnostic data, also known as telemetry, is information that organizations around the world already share with Microsoft and that we have been using internally to continually improve the products. What we thought was, why don't we use the same data to give value back to you, to our customers, and help them also assess and discover potential issues with their Office applications? On top of that, we made this dashboard insightful. So rather than just giving you access to the raw, so to speak, diagnostic data, we transform that data into insights that help you quickly identify the areas that might be problematic in your tenant, in your organization, that you might want to go and investigate further on. It's also zero barriers, meaning that in order to get all these insights that I've been talking about, you don't have to do anything else other than, first of all, being sending your diagnostic data already, which is something that you can configure with the privacy controls available on the Office applications, and just go to the Microsoft 365 Apps Admin Center on config.office.com, sign in, and voila, that's it. All these insights are already available for you, for your organization, for you to take advantage of. And finally, the dashboard is also actionable. So apart from showing you the trends and metrics of how your Office applications are behaving, we also indicate to you whenever a drastic change in those trends, in those metrics has occurred, and there's something that you must pay attention to. And we also provide you with guidance on what actions to take in order to troubleshoot or address those problems. With all that said, I also want to share the exciting news today that we are announcing the general availability of the Microsoft 365 Apps Health feature coming in the next few weeks. I want to show you a quick demo of what the Apps Health experience will look like. Microsoft 365 Apps Health is a new feature on the Apps Admin Center that helps IT admins monitor, optimize, and discover issues in their Office apps. By being on top of the health of their apps, admins can keep their organizations up to date and productive with confidence. Apps Health leverages diagnostics data to create trends for multiple app health metrics like crash rates and launch times. Whenever these metrics deviate from what is considered normal in your organization, an advisory is generated. When you sign in, the first thing you will see is the overview page, which presents three key insights: a summary of the devices that are running builds that are unsupported or for which advisories have been generated, a list of advisories generated specifically for your organization, and an indicator on the number of devices in your organization that are being covered by Apps Health. The summary of devices at the top should help you quickly address the impact that the issues reported by the advisories might have in your organization if these go unattended or not investigated. This will also help you assess which is the most impactful build that is the one that you might want to prioritize in your investigation and troubleshooting. The list below shows you the significant advisories that have been generated in the last 24 hours. These are specific to your organization and are based on the activity of your users. A significant advisory is generated when a metric of a given app and version shows deterioration compared to what is considered normal in your organization. You can click on any of the advisories to see more details and get recommended steps. The advisory details shows you the deteriorated app, version and build, and metric, as well as how that metric has evolved over the last 30 days. This is important to help you correlate the changes in the metrics with other events that might have occurred in your infrastructure. You can also view advisories generated in the past, as they can help you identify previous issues and see how were the factors that contributed to them in the past. Whenever you're looking at a past advisory, we will also notify you if there is a more recent advisory for that metric for that build and that app. Going back to the overview insights, last but not least, we also have the coverage for your devices. We show you the percentage of devices in your organization that Apps Health is monitoring for health trends. App Health uses diagnostics data to provide all of its insights, so you want to ensure that coverage across the update channels you are deploying is optimal. Otherwise, the trends and insights on App Health might not be representative of your organization. Going beyond advisories and high-level summaries, Apps Health also allows you to easily see how your app's health is evolving over time. Clicking on View Metrics by Apps will let you see the list of applications that are deployed in your organization, as well as insights about its usage and whether there are any advisories for any of them. You can click on any of the apps to see more information about how the metrics and the trends of those metrics are evolving over time, as well as any advisory that may exist for any of your apps across the multiple channels and builds that you are deploying in your organization. But this is not the only way to browse trends. You can also go and view the data and the trends by channel. In this case, what we do is we present the information about the regressions on trends aggregated by the channels that you have deployed in your organization and each of the builds that are being actively used by your end users. We have observed that this view is particularly useful to help admins discover any build that is out of support or that has problems and that shouldn't be used anymore, but is still being used by some portion of the organization. This is a quick summary of the capabilities that Apps Health has for you, and we really hope that this can help you stay up to date and productive with confidence. And so that was a demo of the new Microsoft 365 Apps Health dashboard that will be available to you on config.office.com. Just to summarize, the features and capabilities that will be available to you include an overview of the builds and advisories that are happening in your tenant, trends on the performance and reliability of your apps, channel performance and reliability insights, advisories whenever those metrics for performance and reliability go out of hand, and also overall device health coverage. With all that said, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you will be using these new capabilities to stay healthy and current. And back to you, Amesh.
And hopefully you've now seen all the new features and capabilities that are going to help make your overall management of the Office apps much easier, making sure that you're lowering your overall TCO while increasing your user productivity and still being extremely secure. Now, we encourage you to go to the Apps Admin Center, available again at https://config.office.com, and sign up for the preview, as well as enjoy the new capabilities that Javier just announced in the Apps Health. And we have more sessions that you could take advantage of and learn more about all the new capabilities that we just announced today and additional ones that we have yet to talk about. In addition to that, we're going to be hosting several office hours where you can talk to experts about any of these services or anything to do with office deployment and management.
And with all that said, I want to thank you for your attention and for joining us today. And I'm looking forward to see you in the next time. Thank you so much.
We really appreciate you joining us today. So we hope to see you next time. Until then, keep on deploying.